Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Headline edition will bring you special reports and interviews in a moment.
How you doing? This is a guy from Pittsburgh. My hair's driving me nuts. I think I need another haircut. My hair grows like Bigfoot, I think, sometimes. Well, it's time for Weird News. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, well, let's see. I've been looking on YouTube, and there's all kinds of weird stuff on YouTube. One of my favorite dumb stories was this woman in Kentucky. I don't know what she's thinking of. The neighborhood is up in arms. Health authorities aren't doing anything. People called the cops, even on a Fox News story. She has rats in her house, and I mean just one or two little rats. She's got bars in her windows, I guess, to keep the rats out. What didn't work, one little rat, kind of cute little thing, is sticking its head out the window going like this. And she had rats in her house, so what does she do? She puts food outside, thinking the rats would go outside and not hang in her house. Well, the problem is her yard's filled with hundreds of rats. This is in Kentucky and Collier, so you need to go check that out because they're all over the place. I mean, it's just rats everywhere. Okay, weird ice cream flavors. Beef wasabi. I like wasabi. Ooh, you got a nose problem. It will definitely clear your nose out. Lobster. I don't know what they were thinking about this one. Bone marrow and cherry. Yeah. Baby Gaga breast milk in England. Now, $23 a scoop. And while I like the containers that comes in, I don't know if I'd want that. Cheddar cheese gelato and chocolate covered cicada, which is a form of grasshopper, I think. I don't want no chocolate covered bugs in my ice cream, do you? And, excuse me, I don't know what's going on, but the capital of weird news seems to be Florida. So here's one I found. Tampa, Florida man Joshua Basso should have thought through his plan to call 911 and ask them to send sexy female deputies over a little harder. The inebriated Basso called 911 7 times in one evening to request sexual favors from the police. When they finally came to put him in cuffs, he explained 911 was the only number he could call because his phone didn't display any other numbers. God. The idiots abound, I tell you. Let's see. What else is here? In San Jose, there's a college professor. She's raising Angora rabbits, Betty Chew. These things like white versions of Cousin It from the Addams Family. They're huge. And she says they weigh 6 or 7 pounds. She uses scissors to cull the wool from the rabbits, and it grows back at about 1 inch a month. She uses the wool for spinning, knitting, and crocheting. She didn't make any money off it, but it's fun. But you need to look on YouTube or look on the net because these things are absolutely gigantic. They look like big fuzzy fluff balls. Okay, let's see here. There's a psychic in Philadelphia, and I'm surprised Nori hasn't gotten this on this woman as a guest. Arlene Ostapovich. I've got the name wrong, I'm sure. She's in Philadelphia. She's a psychic. People know about her. Judges ask for her to show up in their chambers to give them personal readings. Mayor Rizzo had her in his office when he was running for mayor again, and she said she doesn't want to be famous. She's a former newspaper reporter, but people are pounding down her doors. She even works in the Philadelphia Police Department to help solve a murder or missing person case. She's worked in the police in many, many crimes. So her name is Ostapowizc. So George Norrie, check that out for a guest. I know you watch these things from time to time, and I'll suggest it separately. Here's a story. A guy asked a police officer, or a woman was asking a police officer out on a date. Well, you don't call up 911 to ask out on a date, but Loma Dudash of Aloha, Oregon, got a male deputy, came to her house after a noise complaint, and she called 911 to ask the dispatcher if the dispatcher could give her his name so she could ask him out. It didn't work. Let's see here. Oh, I love this one. I know it's been reported before, but it's still a great story. Woman called 911 because Burger King wasn't giving her the right kind of cheeseburger. She was returning from taking her kids to Taekwondo practice and wanted a Western bacon cheeseburger, and she got a normal burger instead. So she dialed 911 and the operator wouldn't put up with her crap. Now, the funny thing about this, there's a video of this on YouTube, and they show in the background not the Burger King, but they show Ronald McDonald. Someone hasn't got it right. Here's one. Lawrence Gauthier arrested for dialing 911 dozens of times to make bizarre requests, including for TV news to be arrested. Apparently, anchors at Channel 2 News had done something to tick him off. He wanted deputies to head down there and take him off the air, but the dispatcher wasn't taking it, and they hauled him off to jail. And there's a great video. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Homeless hitchhiker saves women from Jesus. You got to check this out, because I don't know if they actually aired this and bleeped it, but a guy's using the F word, the MF word. He just goes on and on and on, nonstop. Homeless hitchhiker saves woman from Jesus. Check that out on YouTube. It's hilarious. And there are other people doing weird news. There's one who's really pretty called Danny Ann, I think. I can't read my own writing sometimes. Let's see, what else did I write here? Here we go. No. Nope, nothing there. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, I love this one. A woman in Tennessee, Orama, she kept calling 911 repeatedly to complain her boyfriend was lying about marrying her. Well, they came to her house twice to tell her to stop calling unless there was an emergency. I don't know what people think 911 is for. It's supposed to be for emergency calls only. She wouldn't stop, so they took her away to jail. And this one, well, actually, we had this with our Prius because we had trouble unlocking the door. because when you get in the car, it automatically locks the door. And I always worried about this too because it doesn't have buttons. But this woman in Kissimmee, Florida, another Florida story, she found herself trapped in her car. The electrical system failed. The automatic door lock on her key fob wouldn't unlock the door. She panicked, called 911, saying she was getting very hot. She was worried about her safety. The dispatcher was smarter than her and told the woman to unlock the door by pulling up the door lock. Well, that's old doors. These new ones have no door lock. And they're controlled electrically, so I don't know how the hell you're going to get out of a door unless you get one of those AAA things where you smash the window. Or you call AAA to get you out. The other thing with power windows, if your electrical system fails, how the hell do you get the window open? Okay, let's see. Not that one. And this one, police in China, Maine. I've never understood naming your city after somewhere else when you're in somewhere else. They got calls from screaming, that somebody was screaming terror. And, well, it wasn't the scream of terror, it was the scream of l'amour, as a male pig was overjoyed because he'd been placed in a pen with 5 female pigs in heat. And the cops showed up, said there was no disturbance, but they didn't say how disturbed the pig was, but he was happy as a pig in slop, I guess. Let's see. I love this one. This is great. Jarvis Sutton spent the night with a case of the munchies. He lacked any other delivery numbers. Now, this idiot doesn't have a phone book to call Domino's or Straw Hat or Round Table, but he called 911. He asked the operator if she could deliver him a hamburger and some Kool-Aid. When the operator hung up, he called back with the same request and did it 78 times, throwing in a request or two for sex while he was at it and some drugs. Eventually, the cops hauled him to jail, but the munchies didn't go away. It caused damage to the police cruiser by chewing on the foam surrounding the metal bars in the back of the car. I guess they should have stopped at Burger King and got him a hamburger first. Oh my God. Really stupid people out there. Portland, Oregon crook Timmy Chapek got interrupted while he was taking a shower in the house he was burglarizing. He called the police, told them he broke in the house, was worried because he thought the owners had guns. The homeowner called 911 herself and had to come and take away her unexpected shower. What an idiot. They might have guns, too. Officer Edward Sanchez a while back was served marijuana-laced brownies and proceeded to freak out on the line with 911. He'd swiped the pot from people he arrested, and his wife baked him up. They hit him pretty strong, and the call featured his wasted voice saying he was dying. Yeah, people die from pot all the time. Yeah, don't eat them brownies. That's the moral of that story. Let's see here. And in a more recent news, Super Bowl Sunday. People do the stupidest things on Super Bowl Sunday. They get drunk, and I don't get it, you know. I went to the bar down the street. They have a spread. Something in the sauce they had gave me heartburn. I bought a non-alcoholic beer. Pretty good. Something from Germany. And a cup of coffee and 2 bags of Cheetos. Sat there reading the Sunday paper. And by the way, that's another thing. That opera singer, let's see if I wrote down her name. I didn't write down her name, I think. Let's see, I can't find it now. But she was incredible. Finally, a woman who could actually sing the national anthem instead of these stupid rock stars that can't, or the worst one of all time, Roseanne Barr, who mangled it at the San Diego Padres game. The woman should be banned from speaking in public ever after that. But that was an incredible performance. You can see it on YouTube. A man in Rochester bit part of his brother's ear off after they began fighting during a Super Bowl party. 27-year-old Sean Fallon Nebbia was hosting the party at his apartment. They'd been drinking before they started roughhousing. After the game, the tussle turned violent. Fallon Nebbia bit off part of Frank Nebbia's right ear and punched him several times in the face. The younger brother was treated at the hospital. The older brother is being held in the jail on $15,000 bail after pleading not guilty Monday to first-degree assault. It couldn't be immediately determined if he had a lawyer or a brain, I guess, but that's, you bite your brother's ear. Cain and Abel, I guess, are spinning over in their graves, although who knows what happened to those two guys. Here's a story, Portland, Oregon. Guy had his phone set to 911 and his butt turned the phone on, and he was doing a drug deal. And Raleigh Reynolds got arrested for drug possession and delivery because everything was on live when he was doing a drug deal. And in Rhode Island, 2 witnesses watched and photographed 2 hovering black disc UFOs about 5:30 in the evening on January 31st, according to MUFON. And there are a number of orange UFOs being seen all over the place, including a video on YouTube in Okinawa that shows these UFOs, and they're in a straight line. Some go down like this. There's ones over here. There's ones over here. But for all we know, they could be Christmas lights. I don't know why somebody doesn't go out in a helicopter when they see these things and go right on top of them with a camera and see if they run away or if they stay stationary. And I saw the video, but I don't read Japanese. I know a few words. And I'm going to have a brief commentary at the end of this. Okay, I watched the Bigfoot video from '67, and there's a video with Bill Munn. Now, they did apparently a National Geographic special of this, and he analyzed a first-generation copy of the Bigfoot film from 1967. There's another one from 2013 where there's guys out there, but he's out with his camera and it's jerking around all over the place. And there's 2 Bigfoots. Now, I've never seen 2 Bigfoots. But the problem with all these videos, they're shot from far away. They're not zoomed. And even when they are zoomed, they're blurry like somebody's put Vaseline all over the lens. But the Bill Munn video on YouTube is interesting because he took an old-style projector and moved every frame by hand and then ran it through his computer, and it looked like it was a Mac, and analyzed each frame. And he says that the analysis, depending on which lens this guy used. Now, another thing, you can't interview the guy who filmed this because he's dead. So his wife is still around, and he had rented this camera that had a 15mm lens and a 25mm lens. Well, with a 15mm lens, the Bigfoot is this big, and with a 25, it's this big, almost 8 feet tall. So I don't know what to think, except I watched another video. Now, they mention that there are copies of this video all the time, and each time they make another copy, the visual degrades, gets worse. And also, people have inserted their own footage into their videos that they display. But when you first see it, on this one video I watched, there's a line, and it extends all the way across the back of the neck, like that. And it doesn't look like hair, it looks like a seam. As if that's the spot you'd zipper the head to or attach it. So they did an analysis of the gait of this thing, and they figured out that a normal man, the position of the shoulders and the hips would be different. So it looks real to me, but I wonder about, they did not mention this seam that you can clearly see in one of the videos. Now, that video on YouTube might have been edited, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Now, I'll say something else. There's a guy in Texas who claims he's got an actual Bigfoot body, and he's carting around to Arizona right now. If I were looking for Bigfoot, I'd take a couple hundred people, take them out in the woods in the area where Bigfoot is known to exist, cordon the area off, the military cordons the area off every time they get a UFO, and capture the thing. And one of the things that they always talk about, the big feet disappear. Well, as if they're using some kind of electrical way to disappear or go into another dimension. If you captured a Bigfoot, you put him in a Faraday cage. Not a regular cage, or a cage surrounded by a Faraday cage, because that stops electrical stuff. And then he couldn't use any kind of electrical thing to transport out of the area. Therefore, you'd have a live Bigfoot. And then you could put him in a glass cage that also won't transmit electricity. That's how I do it if I went out and got a Bigfoot. And I'm trying to get these photos into these videos. I've been watching tutorials on how to do stuff on iMovie, and I haven't gotten to work yet. So if someone wants to give me a tip in an email, Falky2013 at Gmail, I'd appreciate it. And just one brief thing. Someone said that I should have used different handles on different boards so that my detractors would not follow me around as they did on Belgam. Well, the problem is the detractors looked for me on the internet. They already knew my last name, and I made a mistake not using a pseudonym. But you can't use a pseudonym on YouTube. They don't allow you to use anonymous names. So unlike the anonymous posters who hide behind their anonymity, I'm out there for all to see. And by the way, one of the things they've done over the years is made fun of my weight. Well, I've lost enough weight now that I now can fit. It's a little tight. I have pants in the bedroom, still cleaning back there. I got laundry to do, but I got to go to the store today. I didn't go yesterday. My knee was killing me. My right knee keeps filling up with fluid, and I can't walk. And I got to call my doctor and get them to do something about that. But I can now fit in a size 56 pants, and I was getting to the point where I was wearing a 62. So I've lost a lot of weight. I can see it in some of the videos where my face is thinner. And I intend to lose more. And my magnetic board should be here this week. I got a coffee cup coming in. I think I ordered a pair of glasses as a prop for the video. And then next month I'll have my easel, and then my bedroom will be done. And I'll be recording videos in the bedroom because it's freezing out here. I've had to run the heater the last couple nights. My PG&E bill's going through the roof. And even my girlfriend called me and said she's been freezing in her apartment. She never runs the heater. Now, we're not as cold as it is in the Midwest or in the South where it's snowing. There was a story today where people went to the Super Bowl and stranded because they can't get home because of all the snow. Yeah, I guess that global warming is working real good, ain't it, Al Gore? And, oh yeah, one other thing, the economy. Factory orders are down. Market keeps falling. Jobless numbers are up. Retail sales have plummeted. The head of Starbucks said the idea of malls is dying. Well, I'm a little upset because I went to the mall to go to Red Robin, and that was bizarre. We had three waiters, not four, three waiters wait on us in a space of about a half an hour. Two of them were going off shift, and I said, you know, this is really kind of weird. I get multiple waiters here, and it was driving me a little nuts. And we went to Red Robin. We like Red Robin, but my girlfriend doesn't want to go anymore because it irritated hell of her. But before that, I went downstairs, walked the length of the mall. This was on Friday. About 4 o'clock when the mall should be packed. Well, I could have put bowling pins down on a bowling ball and not hit anybody. The place was deserted. This is Sun Valley Mall, the major mall in Concord. There's nobody in there but employees. I don't get it, because there were cars out there. There were people. And there were people waiting out this horrible Lucille's barbecue. We went there and, we had intestinal distress for hours after that. Don't go there. It's terrible. That's a new barbecue restaurant. We like barbecue, but we had these ribs that we're going like, where's the beef? Where's the meat? They were little fingerling ribs with barely any meat on them. And then it attacked us, the revenge of the pig. So, but anyway, went down there to get my Cinnabon. I love Cinnabons. Kathy likes the ones, the pecans. The damn thing is closed. With no warning, it's all boarded up, no sign, go to this Cinnabon here. And I think that mall is charging too much. A couple of years ago, Sanrio, Hello Kitty, which Kathy loves, and all women love Hello Kitty, and I like Choco Cat. He's my favorite, because I'm into black cats. They closed up. Then they moved to San Ramon, and that closed up. So now if we want Hello Kitty, we got to go to Japantown in San Francisco, or the mall where Nordstrom's is. So, pure greed, I guess, is making the stores go away. And how many clothing stores for teenagers can you support in one mall? There's all these Hot Topics and places like that in that mall, but very little things to really buy if you're not into clothing or bric-a-brac or wax candles. For years, there was a place selling all kinds of figures. They had games set up and everything for Warhammer, and that went away. So it used to be fun going to that mall, but it's a whole bunch of clothing stores now. And I don't know how you can support clothing stores if people don't have money, where they're worried about, am I going to lose my job next week? They aren't going to go and buy new clothes. They sure as aren't going to be buying furniture. There's a furniture store on Contra Costa Boulevard right next to the mall, and they're going under, and they're owned by Ashley Furniture. And I asked them about that. I said, the last guy's Oak Furniture, they took about a year and a half to go out of business. And they said, well, they're closing in March. So furniture stores are closing left and right. Businesses downtown here are closing. Another one just went under. And yet the guy in Washington keeps saying, oh, the economy's good, it's recovering. And yet GDP numbers were terrible. So you want to believe that, I got a bridge I can sell you. All right, this is me. Hello to the bell gabbers that like me. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I got a thing yesterday, shocked the hell out of me, from John Stanley, the former movie columnist for the San Francisco Chronicle and former host of Creature Features. And John knows me, although we've never met. I went to a Creature Features event and he couldn't show up because of a family emergency. But he invited me to go to a professional networking site. So I did that yesterday, but it shocked the hell out of me that the former movie reviewer for the Chronicle, and he was the best reviewer they ever had, asked me to join this particular site. So John knows I was a guest on Creature Features, and of course the late and great Bob Wilkins knew it too, because he interviewed me back in the 70s. Unfortunately, KTVU erased most of those videotapes. That's why there isn't a lot of footage from Creature Features on YouTube. They were very expensive and they kept reusing them, and Bob would rescue some of them out of the trash or whatever, which is sad. It would have been great to have a whole series of Creature Features. Not the movies. A lot of the movies were absolute garbage, but to have the first, if you had a compilation of all of Bob's intros to movies, and he was the first guy to put Night of the Living Dead on the air uncut, and it was a big shock at the time. I tried to watch that one, Dawn of the Dead, we're in a shopping mall, and I couldn't watch it. They had somebody in there with her arm bitten off, and she's getting all sick, and the people are going, this doctor saying, I've never seen a virus act like this, and I'm going like, hello, don't you see she's going to turn into a zombie at any minute because she's lying there moaning? She's had her arm bitten off. Another guy had his hand bitten, and it's all getting ooey. But none of these guys realize, gee, they're getting bitten, and these people, when they get bitten, turn into flesh-eating zombies. I know it's a movie, but common sense does not apply here. But I watched the filming of the original Night of the Living Dead when I was a member of the Western Pennsylvania Science Fiction Association. And by the way, I tell people, I've said it on Bell Gab, I told little Chris that I never lie about anything I do. When I say I do something, I did it. And we missed by one day the casting call to be a zombie. We didn't find out about it till Thursday, and they were filming on Friday. But we went out in the middle of nowhere, I think it was out in Lancaster, and watched them film Night of the Living Dead with the guys eating entrails and pig parts and intestines, and it was kind of gross. But it was also cool to watch that. I actually watched George Romero film part of that movie, and actually saw the great other horror show host, Chili Willie Cardilli, Bill Cardilli from Channel 11 in Pittsburgh, do his news spots and things like that and out in the field as if it was an actual news event. That was 1968, which shows how far we've come in some ways and how far we have to go as not only people but humanity as a whole in other ways. Okay, I'll be talking about other things other than weird news, and I'm trying to see if these pictures will attach like they should to the beginning of my video. I'll find out in a minute. This is the guy from Pittsburgh. I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.